Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Frama Pani. Hannah Olainka is the sign language interpreter. Let's begin with the headlines. President Bola Tinubu seeks fundamental reforms to legal practice in Nigeria to ensure practitioners conform to ethics. 942 new lawyers join legal profession. And United Kingdom's Prime Minister Keir Starmer predicts long and tough road in Ukraine peace process. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu is introducing fundamental reforms to legal practice in Nigeria to ensure practitioners conform to ethics, are accountable, as well as enhance access to justice. A proposal to that effect, the Legal Practitioners Act, Repeal and Reenactment Bill, has been transmitted to the National Assembly for consideration and passage. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, while reading the executive communication, said the bill has proposals for issuance of license to legal practitioners, introduction of 2 years tutelage and compulsory continuous professional development program.
Enhance professional standards, discipline, mechanisms, and public confidence in legal practice in Nigeria.
In line with tradition, adjourned plenary in honor of late Senator Okechukwu Eze, representing Enugu North, who died last week Tuesday. And as defenders of the rule of law, legal practitioners in Nigeria have been urged to uphold highest ethical standards in the discharge of their constitutional responsibilities. Chairman of Body of Benchers and former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Aruwola, gave the charge at the November 2025 call to bar in Abuja, where additional 942 new lawyers were admitted into the noble profession. Chukunonson Wabweze reports.
The admission of the new wigs into the Nigerian bar as barristers and solicitors of the Supreme Court is in fulfillment of Section 2(1) of the Legal Practitioner Act 1975, now the Legal Practitioners Acts, Cap 207 Laws of the Federation 1990. Chairman of the Body of Benchers, Justice Olukayode Aruwola, while commending the dedication and commitment of the new wigs, admonished them to uphold the tenets of the profession in carrying out their duties as officers in the Temple of Justice.
I urge you all not to relent in your pursuit of knowledge, but to constantly enrich yourself academically. You must endeavor to accumulate the required credit points each year by participating in accredited programs.
The school has also contributed to the training of legal manpower of our sister African countries, like the Republic of Gambia, the Republic of Sierra Leone, and the Republic of Cameroon. A number of countries from East and West Africa have visited the Nigerian Law School to solicit information and assistance for the establishment and development of law schools in their various countries.
Some of the new wigs expressed their readiness to contribute positively to the growth of Nigeria's legal system.
I hope to contribute to the cause of justice in this country and to equally stand for the rights of the Nigerian people.
There's a lot to defend, there's a lot to uphold, especially with culture. So I'm really excited. It's a good time to be a lawyer.
All my colleagues who are being called to bar today, a successful journey so that we can equally contribute our quota to the system.
I want to urge them to maintain the ethics of the profession, be disciplined, hardworking, and continue networking and innovate with the new modern technologies.
It's a day dedicated to vision, it's a day dedicated to hard work, it's a day dedicated to commitment and prayers to God.
With the call to bar of these 942 new wigs, the Body of Benchers has between July and November 2025 admitted a total of 10,942 new lawyers into the nation's legal profession, the highest in the history of the body. Chukunonson Wabweze, NTA News.
Right now, as the world continues its steady course into the digital era, where innovations shape interactions and define ideas, it is time to balance the act, ensuring that humanity, not technology, leads. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu made this submission while addressing the Education Above All plenary session of the 12th World Innovation Summit for Education in Doha, Qatar. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
Since 2009, when it was established by Qatar Foundation, the World Innovation Summit for Education in Doha has lived up to its billing. Imagine as an international multi-sectoral platform for creative thinking and debate. Its biennial Education Above All conversation, promoting innovation and building the future of education through collaboration.
12th World Innovation Summit.
The 12th edition of the conversation, with the theme Everything Begins with Education, brought together policymakers and innovators from across the globe to interrogate challenges confronting education and its potential to promote community resilience. Even after transitioning from her role as a teacher, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has sustained her interest in the growth of education, and this plenary offers her a unique platform to tell the Nigerian story.
Nigeria has a huge human capital investment, and that is what we thrive on, and our youth are really paving that way. NIDA is helping young people, especially small businesses and medium enterprises, to use digital literacy to enhance their businesses. I believe that, this is the right time, and at the same time, we should be the drivers of, technology. Technology shouldn't lead. Human value should not be taken out of technology. We should be on the driver's seat.
Alluding to the success story of Qatar in the area of education, the First Lady, who shared the stage with her counterparts from Lebanon and Syria, is convinced that no religion forbids girls from being educated. As such, she says the federal government is doing everything possible to provide every Nigerian child with the endless possibilities that education offers.
I want to see every girl, every boy, see education as a foundation of where they can have human dignity and also have hope and the possibilities of endless dreams. And not only that, I want to make sure that I see them not seeing education just as a way out of poverty, but I want every child to be happy, and excited acquiring education.
The chairperson of Qatar Foundation and host of the summit, Sheikh Amuza bint Nasser, harped on the need for education to do more in transforming lives and communities by connecting young people with new jobs.
Doha, the capital city of Qatar, where the 12th edition of the World Innovation Summit for Education is currently going on, is many nautical miles from Nigeria. But the issues on the front burner here offer critical guide and insight for a future being envisaged by the Bola Tinubu administration, especially for Nigeria that is taking a decisive leap into the digital era and gig economy. From the Qatar National Convention Center here in Doha, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
The president of the Global Alliance for Public Relations and Communication Management, Professor Justin Green, has commended Nigeria's contributions to the public relations space in Africa, describing them as inspirational. He made the remark in the United Arab Emirates during the global unveiling of the World Public Relations Forum scheduled to hold in Abuja November 2026, with delegates expected from more than 120 countries. Haman Jabani reports.
The World Public Relations Forum, regarded as the biggest gathering of public relations professionals globally, is coming to Nigeria, offering the country an opportunity to make a lasting impact in the PR profession by hosting what is expected to be the biggest, brightest and boldest edition of the forum. With the theme, Responsible Communication, the Voice of the World, the one-week program will take place in Abuja as well as other designated locations across the country from November 15 to 21st, 2026. President of Global Alliance, for Public Relations and Communication Management, Professor Justin Green, emphasized the importance of including responsible communication in the United Nations Charter as one of the Sustainable Development Goals, describing it as a major task the Global Alliance will continue to champion. He also congratulated Nigeria for hosting the first ever university dedicated to teaching and learning of public relations, the University of Public Relations and Leadership, which is expected to be unveiled at the WPFR next year. President and Chairman of Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Dr. Ike Nieleaku, while decorating the Global Alliance president, reiterated Nigeria's commitment to making this edition of the forum the biggest, boldest, and brightest in its history. The event also featured the Global Alliance's strategic meeting with board members who converged from various parts of the world. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
And 8 volunteers under the Nigeria Technical Aid Corps (NTAC) are set to depart for Seychelles and Gambia. At the orientation exercise organized for them in Abuja, the Director General of the agency, Dr. Buba Yusuf Yakub, emphasized that both recipient countries are counting on expertise of the volunteers to improve their science, education, and health sectors. Kelvin Ebonoye reports.
The deployment of the 8 volunteers is part of the fulfillment of NTAC's Director General's recent visit to Seychelles in an effort to expand the scope of the scheme into more African, Caribbean, and Pacific countries. He charged them to apply themselves diligently and sustain the high reputation established by previous volunteers who brought honor and pride to Nigeria, saying President Bola Tinubu places premium emphasis on NTAC as a soft power diplomatic tool of the country.
Some of them are engineers, some are medical doctors, and like in the Francophone, if you send English teachers, they also teach them how to speak English. So like for the medical doctors and the nurses, we are beginning to export our expertise, our abundant human resource, and that will reduce the illegal migration, because Nigerians will now know that the government can package them and send them out with dignity to serve wherever they want to serve.
We need to do that complying with the principle of international law, which says that pacta servanda, parties are bound by whatever duty or agreement they have made to do. So, and that is our intention. We do there and we perform by the grace of God.
Gambia has been a consistent recipient of NTAC volunteers, but this is the first time Seychelles will benefit from the scheme. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, has visited the University of Doha for Science and Technology, UDST, as part of Nigeria's strategic drive to expand and modernize technical and vocational education and training, TVET, across the country. During the visit, Dr. Alausa toured the university's renowned certificate school, a specialized institution heavily focused on competency-based TVET education and internationally accredited technical programs. He commended UDST's strong emphasis on practical training, workplace readiness, and industry-aligned certifications, elements critical to Nigeria's ongoing skills development reforms. Dr. Alausa announced that Nigeria and UDST will be partnering in several key areas like faculty exchange and train-the-trainer programs. Both institutions will collaborate on faculty exchange initiatives to strengthen Nigeria's technical teaching workforce. We'll pause here, take a short break. More news right after. Thanks for staying tuned. Now, United Kingdom's Prime Minister Keir Starmer has informed the UK Parliament that there is still a long and tough road ahead in the Ukraine peace process. Plus, United States Justice Department set to appeal federal High Court verdict in favor of former Director, Federal Bureau of Investigations James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. Chukunonsonwa the reports.
Setting out some of UK's principles on the issue to the Parliament, Starmer said parts of the initial draft peace plan were not acceptable, but that there have since been important steps forward.
That Ukraine should be able to defend herself in future, and that matters about Ukraine and its future must be determined by Ukraine. We are clear their voice must always be at the heart of the process.
The Prime Minister decried what he described as devastating living conditions being faced by Ukrainians. In another development, the U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the Justice Department will file an appeal after a federal judge dismissed the criminal cases against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James.
We'll be taking all available legal action, including an immediate appeal, to hold Letitia James and James Comey accountable for their unlawful conduct.
U.S. President Donald Trump had publicly urged Bondi in a post on his Truth social platform to take action against Comey and James. District Judge Cameron Corey threw out both cases on the grounds that the U.S. attorney was unlawfully appointed. Comey, 64, was charged in September with making false statements to Congress and obstructing a congressional proceeding in what was widely seen as retribution by the Republican president against a political opponent. James, 67, a Democrat who successfully prosecuted Trump for fraud, was indicted the following month on one count of bank fraud and the second one of false statements to a financial institution. Both indictments were brought by interim U.S. Attorney Lindsey Harrigan, who was described by Correa in her dismissal rulings as a former White House aide with no prior prosecutorial experience. Dismissing the indictment without prejudice leaves open the possibility of the charges being filed again, although the statute of limitations in Comey case may have since expired.
This case mattered to me personally, obviously, but it matters most because a message has to be sent that the President of the United States cannot use the Department of Justice to target his political enemies.
Comey was appointed to head the FBI by President Barack Obama in 2013 and was fired by Trump in 2017 amid a probe into whether any members of the Trump presidential campaign had colluded with Moscow to sway the 2016 vote. Chukwunonso Nwabueze, NTA News.
The Nigerian government says harnessing the gas sector is an enduring, innovative reform that will be sustained to transform the nation's socio-economic opportunities for national prosperity. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, represented at the 8th Value Chain Annual Lectures, urged citizens to seek more knowledge about government reforms and trust them as well. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
The forum brings together stakeholders, particularly those from the energy sector, to reconnect, share insights, and strengthen bonds. Strategies deployed and successes recorded in the last 2.5 years under the Renewed Hope administration using gas resources is attracting the attention of key players and partners in the energy sector.
At this juncture, I must express deep appreciation to His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for sustaining the momentum behind the Ajaokuta Kaduna Kano, that's the AKK gas pipeline project, which is now over 80% completion.
For far too long, Africa has exported crude and imported poverty. Today's conversation challenges us to consider a paradigm shift.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, in a message, says reforms on natural gas expansion, power sector transformation, and strengthening investment opportunities are deliberate and non-negotiable.
The administration's push for compressed natural gas, CNG, is part of a broader strategy for the evolution of a sustainable and affordable energy ecosystem. This is not just an energy policy. It is an economic and social intervention that directly affects transport, manufacturing, and household budgets.
There were panel discussions around the theme, growth in energy sector, nexus between economic development, social impact, and public perception, geared towards supporting the government renewed agenda in energy diversification. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
The federal government has challenged universities and colleges of agriculture to develop new technologies and innovations that will boost agricultural productivity in Nigeria. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, issued the challenge during a visit to the University of Abuja, where he commended the initiative by agricultural tertiary institutions to cultivate 5 hectares of farmland each for practical training and food production. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
The University of Abuja is home to an agricultural learning center that focuses on innovation and modern technology to improve plant productivity as well as disease and pest control. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, visited the center where he praised the initiative and called for its expansion. Prior to touring the center, the minister addressed students from the Faculty of Agriculture during their annual conference. He emphasized the critical role of technology, particularly artificial intelligence, in boosting agricultural productivity.
You are the generation that will run the AI-powered farms. You will build digital supply chains that move food faster and smarter. You will deploy drones to do in minutes what used to take 50 farmers a whole day. You will design agri-tech solutions that will make global investors ask, where did this come from? And the answer will be simple: from you, from Nigeria.
Together we will rise the green banner of NAS and prove that youth-driven agriculture can transform Nigeria.
The minister was subsequently honored by the students.
Out of the 1.5 trillion, he had motivated the presidency to give out to the Bank of Agriculture for upscaling it. So the future of agriculture, even now, we are very happy. We in agricultural sector, we are very, very proud of him.
From Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Assets and liability declaration, as well as corruption and other financial misappropriation, will soon be digitally monitored by the Code of Conduct Bureau as it migrates from manual to digitized assets declaration. Chairman of the Bureau, Abdullahi Usman Bello, stated this at a stakeholders consultation and validation workshop on the new assets and liabilities declaration system. Correspondent Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports that the workshop was organized in collaboration with the European Union, MacArthur Foundation, and other development partners.
Code of Conduct Bureau is a federal government agency saddled with the responsibility of upholding ethical standards for public officers, verifying asset declarations, investigating and prosecuting breaches of the Code of Conduct, and above all, promoting public accountability. Since its establishment, the Bureau has been operating a manual system of operations, making it difficult to achieve its desired objectives. This stakeholders workshop on the new asset and liabilities declaration system is a paradigm shift, bringing together local, state and federal government agencies to buy into the new direction of asset and liabilities declaration to wipe out corruption in the system. Chairman of the Bureau, Abdullahi Usman, emphasized on the agency's resolve to fully migrate the system to a digitally inclined process for easy monitoring and accessibility.
The online asset declaration system is going to make it more efficient, more effective for public officers to declare their assets. It's also going to make it easier for us to verify those asset declarations. So that's the idea behind it.
If we follow the steps that we are discussing here today, or since yesterday, I believe that we would have been moving towards the right direction and helping the country as a whole.
My humble request to CCB is that let us continue on this momentum. Let us give ourselves a time frame, maybe say in the next 6 months, not more than that. We should be able to have this online asset declaration.
Experts believe that this new system of declaration, if fully adopted, will go a long way in reducing corruption in the public service. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has called on government institutions, especially the legislature and the judiciary, as well as technology companies, civil society, and other members of the society to take bold action towards making digital spaces safe, inclusive, and respectful for all. The call is in her message marking the 2025 International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, with the theme Unite to End Digital Violence Against All Women and Girls. The theme, she notes, highlights the urgent need to address a growing and often invisible threat of online abuse, harassment, extortion, and exploitation of women and girls. While expressing solidarity with all survivors and those working tirelessly to end gender-based violence, the First Lady frowns at violence of any form, offline or online, which undermines the dignity, safety, and the potential of women and girls, insisting that digital spaces should foster genuine human connection, facilitate learning, and promote productivity, and not fear. And today, as the world observes the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, Global Women Council for Political and Parliamentary Leaders says it stands in solidarity with women and girls in every community, every sector, and every digital space across the globe in denouncing all forms of gender-based violence, particularly the rising scourge of digital violence. President Global Women Council for Political and Parliamentary Leaders, Senator Uche Lilian Ekunife, in a statement says this year's theme, Unite to End Digital Violence Against Women and Girls, underscores the urgent need to confront the growing threats women face in the online spaces. The statement urged governments to strengthen legal frameworks to address digital violence and provide support services to victims, tech companies and digital platforms to design safety features that prioritize the experiences of women and girls, swiftly respond to abuse reports, and invest in tools that prevent harm before it occurs. Now, the Nigerian Army will continue to adopt modern security tactics to sustain the successes in the fight against insurgency in the country. Director General of the Nigerian Army Resource Center, Major General James Nyamgabe, gave the assurance while reviewing the achievements of the center 10 years after.
The Resource Center has faithfully served as one of the intellectual hubs and think tanks of the Nigerian Army especially, and the nation at large, dedicated to knowledge advancement, research, innovations, and contributing to evidence-based solutions to the nation's defense and security challenges, as well as national development policy issues.
And that's the news. Thanks for being a part of it. I am Frama Pani, and Hannah Olainka has been the sign language interpreter.